Hi, it's Jay from Iridescent Tarot back with some more sparkle for you. So today I wanted to make a video that was in response to Kait at Moonflower Moments, and she's got this hashtag going on for the beginning of 2026 called the hashtag Back to Our Tarot Roots Challenge, where she's encouraging us to go back to the decks that we first had when we first started tarot. And she's made all these prompts and everything to follow along with the hashtag. It's beautiful. She's done such a great job of creating this challenge. And if I wasn't already knee deep in the Marseille study, I'd be like fully on board doing all of her prompts and like all that, but I'm just like maxed out at my limit right now. I did want to participate as best as I could though. And so for me, what that looked like was going back to my very first tarot deck when I learned how to read tarot in 2015, 2016, around that time, and using that deck consistently throughout the month of January. We're partway through the month. I've used this Starchild tarot a few times, and I just wanted to document some of my thoughts, feelings. I wanted to flip through the deck a little bit and just talk about some of the things that have been coming up for me while working on Kait's Back to Our Roots challenge. So as you can see here, I have the Starchild tarot, and they both say akashic. So they're the akashic edition. This is like very first rendition of this tarot deck that came out way back in, let's see what the guidebook says. It says copyright 2014 to 16. I think that I discovered this deck probably around 2015, 16. I was very much into the indie perfume world, and somebody on the forum had asked a question about other indie interest, and somebody else responded with this image, and I was like, oh my God, I need that deck. I need to learn tarot. I need to bring this into my life. And so this was truly the start of my tarot journey here, where I actually learned tarot, because I had had a deck when I was 8 years old, but I never like really learned the meanings until this deck came into my life. Now, I'm pretty sure that this was the original, and then this version came shortly thereafter, and the differences are this is like a more of an oracle size card, this is a standard tarot size card, but in my mind they kind of came around the same time, and I just thought that I like learned tarot using the both of them. And so me being a very sentimental person, I've hung on to both of these decks thinking, oh yeah, like those are my first decks, they're not going anywhere. But the more that I worked with the decks for Kait's challenge, the more that I am thinking a little bit differently about that. So, as you can see here, the original Starchild tarot doesn't have any of those like gold embellishments that this one has. And so I just like the look of this box better. It's just a little bit more glitzy and glam, obviously. And I'll show you the sides and the back side here. Now, the original edition doesn't have the cutout holes on the side, which is kind of annoying to me, but whatever. And it has a guidebook that is within the box, which I love the combination. I really like when the book can fit inside of the box. The standard tarot size edition comes with this book that's way bigger than the cards, so it has to say outside of the box. And I found myself for Kait's challenge reaching for this one because I enjoy a standard tarot size a lot. However, because the book wasn't in the box, I was just reading with the cards and not referring to the guidebook at all, which sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But when I did pull the guidebook out, I realized that the spine is like barely cracked, and I'm a spine cracker when it comes to books, just like in general. And I was like, huh, interesting. Like I must have never really looked too much into this guidebook. Whereas the one that came with the original edition, it's all beat up. And like, I know that I read through the entire guidebook and took notes on one of these, and now that I can see them side by side, I know that it's this one that I really spent the most time with, which makes me think that it's this deck that I really learned tarot with. And while I have this one now, I think that this is the deck that I like really cut my teeth on and feel like I should be more sentimental about. Does that make sense? And the reason that this matters is because I am always making a concerted effort to move decks out of my collection that I'm not actively reading with. And these two just have been kind of sitting there like, well, they're sentimental decks, they're never going anywhere. But I think the real question is like, do I really need to hang on to both of them if I'm not using them that often. Now, you can kind of see on the back side that there's a saturation difference in the backs of the cards. I like this one better. So even though this one has the glitzier box, the backs on this one do win for me. These are that like original indie cardstock that everyone was using back in the day, where it's like super thick. It's not rose petal, but it's got that like kind of stickier matte feeling to it. This version feels like a little bit more slippery or easier to handle, but still kind of a beast when it comes to shuffling. And so I figured I would walk through the two of these side by side for myself mostly in order to compare the images and see, do I really need to hang on to both of these, or can I just hang on to the one that I really learned with when I first learned tarot and move along maybe one that doesn't need to be here. These borders I could take or leave. Like I did a recent pairing with this and Scarab and Dahlia Tarot, which has a similar white border, and they looked really nice together. So I did enjoy this in regards to pairing. These little borders down at the bottom, I like them, but they don't have any kind of continuity between the suits or anything. So I think that's a missed opportunity, like where the cups could all be more of the bluer tones or whatnot. They just are kind of random. They're so similar that I think I only need one deck. This has a little bit more saturation up in the top there, and you can see there's more room underneath the sword. I feel like she's more the center focus here and the side, whereas down here, it's like the whole card composition is the focus, but here she is the focus. I also have realized that I don't really like seeing real people in my decks, because when I look at this card, I just see an actress, that Dayanara from Orange is the New Black, and it pulls me out of my tarot readings when I like see people that I'm like, oh, this looks like so-and-so. That happens a couple of times through this deck, and it's just not something that I like, and that's probably why I don't reach for this deck anymore. I like how the Emperor, you have the full rainbows in the corner on this version. This isn't my favorite image from either. These look the same. The coloring is really different on this card. This coloring I like way better than this kind of yellowed. This is giving like cigarette filter. She's got some more brightness over her. I like this side better. This looks more like psychedelic with the purple and blue, more electric than over here. See, that looks like Daenerys Targaryen. Like, why is Daenerys in my deck? Like, I'm just not gonna read with this deck all the time anymore. It has its place, it had its time, and now it's more of like a relic to me. So like, why am I wasting a spot in my collection to have it twice? I don't think I need to. I prefer the more colorful version to the black and white over here. Like, the colors over here are nice. This one. I never really liked this sun. It looks a little bit too, like, I feel like the rays are pointing inwards, and it's just, they don't radiate outward. They're too contained for me. This one. They look the same. This one. Apparently I left this card in to both decks too, like shuffled it in. It's an extra card, and that's how I also know that I haven't reached for these in a long time, because I do not include extra cards in my decks Like I don't shuffle them in anymore. So I must have used to do that, but I don't do it now. This one. I like the pinks on this one better. Here's an actual difference in a card. Interesting. I might prefer this one. I don't love the leopard print. I don't know. This one. I think that's the creator potentially. I don't know. But I do like this coloring better up here on the sky. This one. This one. They look the same. This one. Same. Same. Okay, here we go. I don't like these black and white chevrons here, so this one. This one. Interesting. I never noticed that it has, so this is the second card that's more black and white than on this side. So again, this side. I don't know. I'm kind of torn because I like the rainbowy mountains down here, but I like the sky up here. So maybe this one. This one, they're the same. See, it's harder when they get kind of pippy. And like, it's the two of crystals, but there's like 1, 2, 3. They're the same. Maybe the him being like kind of in this cave with the light shining down, I think makes a little bit more sense for the 4 of coins. These are the same. She reminds me of Elvira with the hair. They look the same. 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 Oh man, I like the coloring on this one better. The cool tones versus the warm tones. Maybe this one a little bit better. Oh, I like the coloring on this one better. Uh-oh. They're the same. This one. Ooh, this one's hard. I don't like this, like, the bottom of this one. But then I like the top over here, so maybe this one, but like not by a lot. Sorry, you can hear my dog snoring in the background, maybe. This one. Again, it has like a little bit of that yellow cigarette filter. I don't know who this reminds me of, but either like Fran Drescher, like the nanny, or the lady from Seinfeld, or like there's somebody in that realm of TV, like 90s sitcoms or whatever, that she looks like to me. And I don't know who, and it bothers me every time. Maybe up here is cooler on this card. This one's better. They're the same. They're the same. Same. She always kind of looked like a ghost to me. This side is brighter right in the middle. This one. This one. This one might have slightly more saturated tones. This one you can see more of a focus on the top of the sword and the moon, whereas it's just a little bit less noticeable over here in person. I like this one better. The sky has more stuff going on. These are the same. Maybe this one's slightly better. I do like this card a lot. They're equal. Maybe this one. This isn't giving like 3 of Cups energy to me. Now that I know the meanings the way that I, like as deeply as I do, sometimes I just look at the choices that were made and I'm like, I don't really get them sometimes. These are the same. This is giving more of 5 of Cups energy to me than this cave setting. Those are the same, maybe a little bit more color up here. Same. I don't know that there was a need for the mirroring here, so like cutting it down to the one figure kind of makes sense. This one feels more saturated. For some reason, I like this one more. I like this one. It's a little bit less saturated, but I like it there. They're the same. Same. Ooh. This one's my color scheme. I don't want to end with liking this one, but it's true. Okay. All right, you want to watch me struggle to shuffle a little bit? Like, let's just see what this looks like. Well, that wasn't too bad. A little sticking at the end. It doesn't feel great though. Like my thumbs do kind of hurt from that. You really kind of have to throw the cards to get them to break up. All right, what about the standard size? So a little bit, the cardstock feels the same, but because it's easier to wrap my hands around them, it doesn't feel like as much of a struggle, which is maybe why I felt more inclined to pull for this one for Kait's challenge. But ultimately, man, I think that my reading style has really moved on from these images. And unless I can get something back from Marseille, I am definitely learning a new way of reading when it comes to Marseille. So maybe that will help me read some of these more pippish cards in a different manner. But I think that this was a deck for a decade ago me and not me nowadays. That being said, I still think that the imagery is beautiful. Like I love the artwork, but like as a tarot deck for me today, I don't think that this doesn't really speak to me the way that it should for me to keep 2 copies of this deck. I do also have the Moonchild Tarot, and it has such a different vibe to me than this. I know it's like the same artist, similar imagery for a lot of the cards, but something about that, I don't know, like when I read with that one nowadays, I do really like reading with it. So I think as hard as it is to move some things on when we have sentimental value to them, like, I don't know, I'm just like, I don't see myself reaching for this one. But I do see myself leaving this one in the collection for those same sentimental reasons. And if I do want to reach to read with it, like having one is more than enough. See, I feel like just flipping through like this, these images have a lot less color or saturation, which is, yeah, I don't know. I just like the borders and I like the sentimental value of this one. This is a hard call, but sometimes curating the collection requires hard calls, you know? I think that I'm going to keep the one that I really am truly attached to and move along the one that I don't know, the edges of this one look more worn. Did I use it more? I don't know. Anyways, thank you, Kait, for creating this hashtag, especially now with everyone doing low buy, no buys. I think it's a great way to really take a critical look at the decks in our collection, use them, get to know them again if they're decks that we've had for a while and have been kind of sitting on the shelf while we've been playing with the shiny new ones. And I think this has been helpful for me to just kind of accept the fact that it's not doing me a lot of good just sitting on the shelf, and I can move this one along. I think that's it for today. I will talk to you later. Signing out.